I'm now going to call upon one of Shannon's sisters, Heather Gagnon, to come up and say a few words on behalf of the Murdoch family. And it looks like the other two sisters will be joining her as well. So we'll welcome Laura Lynn and Heather and Christine. After they speak, this will follow. Kelly Lima will be playing Nocturne on the piano.
As we look around this room, we're forever grateful for the support from the community of Terrace for our sister. I find myself the fourth luckiest person in this room today, for I've known her the fourth longest. The longest is our mother, Pat, our Aunt Dawn, and our other Aunt Arden, who's sort of a surrogate sister as well. And I thank them for being here as well, because we know the longest how good this person was. There are no words to describe how much we are going to miss our sister Shannon. The tributes and kind words bring comfort to our families as the happy memories we will continue to share in the years to come. We all know how special Shannon was, but it is your presence here that shows us that reaches far outside the parameters of our family. It takes a very unique person to be able to touch so many people in so many different ways. She was active and vibrant and used the short time she was here with us to its fullest. In the past couple of years, it's been very comforting to our family to know that she is being well taken care of by the people of Terrace, that there were so many others that were there at a moment's notice to help whenever needed. It was hard for us to be so far away. Our brief visits to Terrace ensured us that she had the love and support of not only Tony, Tristan, and Mackenzie, but all of you. As the oldest of four girls, Shannon was the one who set the stage for the rest of us. She was the best big sister we could hope for, and always led by example. From an early age, she learned to share, and we didn't always give as good as we got. She would take the bulk of the work, but there was always equal credit, even if we didn't pull our weight. For example, if Mom went to town and left some chores to be done, it was sometimes easy for Christine and I to find something else to do. But yet when Mom returned home and the list had been completed, Shannon would tell Mom it was a team effort. In the early years, it never seemed to bother her that her little sister tagged along almost constantly. Like when she was old enough to tap dance, there I was, copying and getting to participate. It was always that way. She had to share the limelight. Never got her time to shine, as we were a package deal. And you'll notice that in the pictures. I didn't even let her get her own picture by herself. The arrival of Christine a few years later just meant she had another shadow, someone else to share the stage with. We learned a lot of things from watching Shannon grow up, and she was there to support us in our successes, as well as when things didn't go exactly as planned. There was no shame in being called Shannon's little sister, as she was always loved by everyone she came in contact with. Laura Lynn's arrival, quite a few later, came with a mixed reaction from Christine, Shannon, and I. Well, happy to have a new little sister, and she was cute. She was. Well, she still is. Now I've lost my place. Thanks, Tony. Her arrival meant that a long-awaited trip to Disneyland was once again delayed. Mom and Dad had promised that when the youngest turned 8, we would go to Disneyland. Christine reached that magical number. Along came Laura Lynn. So she's our own little Mickey Mouse. Shannon was indeed so proud of her youngest sister that she began arranging basketball camps in Terrace for Laura Lynn to run so she could share her with you. For the past 15 years, Shannon has arranged the camps and made sure there were enough registrants to make the weekend successful. Over the years, we all have special memories of times we spent with Shannon. As a teacher, she had summers off and was always ready for an adventure and loved to take one of us along with her. It was off to Australia with Christine, Hawaii with Laura Lynn, and the whole country from coast to coast with Mom and Dad. As the oldest grandchildren, my sons reaped the benefits as well, as Auntie Shannon would take them on many holidays with Grandpa and Grandma. They would always remember the time she spent with them, the gifts she brought them from around the world, and the genuine interest she had in what they were doing and that joy she shared in their achievements. Family was always number one to Shannon. The sense of belonging and everything that goes with it is something we will always treasure. She was the biggest advocate of family get-togethers and was the first to reach out and extend the family tree. We remember trips when she would take detours, be it 10 miles, 500, just to look up a distant relative, one that we'd never met, or an acquaintance that she had crossed paths with earlier. Family meant everything to her, and there was no doubt in anyone's mind that we were just as important to her as she was to us. There was no one as unselfish as our big sister. She always put everyone else first and never complained or wanted any attention for herself. In fact, the week she died, I met her at the cancer unit where she was getting ready for radiation. The roads were not good that day, so it was a quick trip for me from Quesnel, and I had to leave right again after her treatment. As I helped her into the car and gave her a hug, she looked at me and said, "How are you?" There she was, battling a horrible disease, giving her best as it kicked her to the curb over and over again, and yet she wanted to make sure I was okay. That, my friends, is our sister.